Alex Pereira knocks out in 13 seconds of round 2 Jiri Prochazka via head kick to cap off UFC 303. It's one of those fights where either outcome's good and bad for both parties. Like, I really want Jiri to win, but I don't want Pereira to lose. I think in my sort of perfect scenario, it would have been something where they go through a war with each other. You know, it goes 3, 4, 5 rounds, and then maybe Pereira ekes it out, but they both kind of gain respect and none of their stock goes down. But I think, unfortunately, the way Jiri lost, his stock is going to have gone down a little bit, and Pereira's has shot up even more than it already is. Because here's the thing, the first fight was relatively close before the actual knockout. Jiri had moments where his blitz was working, you know, Pereira was put in trouble. And I think in this fight, Jiri maybe had one combination where it worked. He blitzed in doing sort of straight punches, and that touched Pereira, but really didn't do too much damage in the end. And it's just that same formula that Pereira keeps using that's just working every single time. He pressures you with those leg kicks and forces you to make a move. But when you do, he stings you with that left hook. And that power is just, seems people just aren't able to handle it at all. He's got that touch of death. And Jiri really didn't seem to take it well, man. I mean, of course, he's going to be gutted. It's going to take a lot for him to get the title because he's already fought for the belt twice against Pereira. So unless Pereira moves up, then he's not really going to get the title anytime soon. I mean, the stare down was recorded apparently at 4 minutes 55 seconds, and that was almost longer than the actual fight itself. The question is now, why do both of these men go? I think Pereira is well on the way to getting into the top 5 GOAT status. I'd say he's still got quite a while to go until we talk about him being the GOAT, because, you know, if we look at people like GSP or Mighty Mouse or something, they've got, you know, double-digit title defenses. They've got almost as many title defenses as Pereira has fights. That being said, getting multiple title defenses, 2-division champion, coming in beating champions like Israel Adesanya, Jiri of course, Sean Strickland, I think it was 5 champions, I can't remember off the top of my head the other 2. So where do I think Pereira should go from here? If I'm honest, I think he needs to fight Ankalaev. That's going to be a really big test for him because of course Ankalaev is a grappler, and although Pereira I think has shown better grappling than we expected, he's still not the best grappler. He defended decently against Jan Blachowicz, but Blachowicz isn't really known for his wrestling, he's kind of more of a striker, I'd say. And although Pereira outclasses him in the striking, Ankalaev is no slouch in the striking. I mean, he TKO'd Johnny Walker, although, then again, a lot of people have TKO'd Johnny Walker. But I think a move up to heavyweight isn't going to be the best until he beats Ankalaev. Because if he's going to fight someone like Tom Aspinall, who's got good grappling skills, he needs to be able to show that he can handle that. Whether it's having good takedown defense or just being able to deal too much damage before Ankalaev can really get a hold of him. Because if we look at the Blachowicz fight, that was a very close fight. And although I think Pereira did win it, the first round where Blachowicz was on top of him and really threatening submissions did seem to take a lot out of the 2 fighters. I know it was at altitude as well, so that will play a factor. But I don't think it's a coincidence that one of Pereira's closest fights has been against a decent grappler. And if he does beat Ankalaev, then I think they need to make the Aspinall fight like that. And that will be a mega fight, my god. That would be one of the craziest events in UFC history, honestly. And if Pereira can become the first 3-time UFC champion, then I think he is well on the way to getting GOAT status. As for Jiri, man, he's in one of these awkward positions that a lot of people found themselves in, like, you know, your Dustin Poirier, your Max Holloway's, where he's beaten most of the top guys except the champion, and he's already had multiple title fights against the same guy, so he's probably not going to be booked for another one anytime soon. But he's going to need to take some time off after that fight. I mean, that was a bad knockout. Herb Dean should have stopped that fight sooner, man. I mean, the second the head kick happened, I think he should have called it, especially given that he got rocked multiple times in the first round, including, of course, that last second knockdown. You kind of saw the Pereira pause when Jiri fell to the ground, just assuming that it would be over. And then when Habib didn't stop the fight, of course, he had to do his job and finish it. So I think Jiri needs to take some time off and get his confidence back. And to be honest, I think his best shot at the title is probably when Pereira leaves, because that was such a dominant display by Pereira. I don't see them booking the fight again, unless Jiri goes on an insane run against the contenders. But that about wraps it up. I am shattered. It was like 6 AM when the fights ended, and then I went out for a little bit, you know, trying to go to the local boot sale and everything. I've just got back. It's 8 AM right now, and I'm going to bed. Thank you very much for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments box below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.